And you're watching The Rock Office.
Hey everyone out there, you've reached The Rock Office. It's time to clock in and rock out. I'm your host, Bill Smith.
And I'm Kevin Davis.
All right, we're back with another exclusive interview. We're really excited to bring this one. I'm actually been a real long-time fan of this band, Stryper. Many of you will know, kind of rose to fame in the 80s as a hair band or glam metal, but with a Christian kind of a moniker. But Michael Sweet, the lead singer, is going to be calling in here momentarily. We're going to be speaking to him. They have a new album on the way. They've been really prolific in the last couple years. He's written a book. He released a solo album. They just put out a Stryper live album, then an album last year. So a lot of stuff going on, doing some producing, and I'm sure we're going to get into all that here in a little bit. But I think it's going to be a good interview.
Yeah, I agree. I'm proud of this one. The fact that Bill was able to use the word prolific perfectly, and also secondarily because Michael is a great guy. We've actually been able to talk to him before. We just haven't been able to get him to call into the show here. So we're looking forward to doing that, and looking forward to bringing that to you.
Yeah. So I guess why don't just get right into it then.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, we got Michael Sweet from Stryper calling in. Hey, Mr. Sweet, it's good to talk to you again.
Yeah, good to talk to you again, buddy.
Hey, thanks for taking your sweet old time calling us.
No problem at all.
You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so you have a new album, Falling. It's coming out. Tell me a little bit about recording it and maybe some things that are new that the fans, longtime fans, can look forward to, and maybe some of the things that longtime fans can expect to hear from this album.
It's pretty much the same old classic. I mean, it's definitely got some new new qualities, new flavors to it. It has. There's a couple songs that There's one song in particular that's 6 minutes long. It's got 4 tempo changes. It's unlike anything that we've ever done before.
Okay.
But it sounds like Stryper. When you hear it, you go, okay, that's got that signature Stryper sound. But yet at the same time, it's really different for us.
Okay.
So we're trying different things like that. And there's some songs that are tuned down, have a little bit of a chunkier, raw, bigger, deeper kind of tone to them.
All right.
But there's some songs on this album too that probably could have fit on the last album, I Know We're Okay. And, we don't want to go too far off the beaten path in terms of our style and our sound because, fans expect that.
Okay.
So it's cool and fun to experiment, but yet you don't want to go too far down the road. Because I think the artists that last the longest are the ones that stay true to their roots and their sound. We were just listening to Buck Owens.
Okay.
And one thing I noticed about Buck Owens, totally different style of music, but he stayed true to his sound. He didn't try to experiment and change his sound constantly. It's like, and that says a lot. When you make it based on a certain sound, it really would be smart to keep that sound,
sure,
right?
Sure.
And I think a lot of bands don't. They change their sound completely, and sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't work.
Right.
Got to be really cautious of that.
In the last year or so, you've had an incredibly large amount of prolific things that you've been putting out. You've had 2 Stryper studio albums, a live album from Stryper. You yourself have had a solo album. And then you did a project where you collaborated with George Lynch of Dokken, the Sweet and Lynch Project. Plus, you put out an autobiography, Honestly. How do you find the time or energy to get all this stuff put together and put out there for the people?
I think I have a special little well, man, in my backyard. that I go and drink water from. No, I think there's two reasons for it. One reason is just the contractual obligations, with Frontiers. I mean, our contract, for example, the Stryper contract for the Second Coming, No More Hell to Pay, and Live with the Whiskey, it was written into the contract that we had to deliver those albums by a certain period of time, and it just so happened that they all fell into a period of a year, basically.
Oh, okay.
So that's part of the reason. And then I kind of enjoy the challenge. I like staying in the studio.
Okay.
If I had my way and the money was there and the label was there behind it, I'd stay in the studio constantly and put out 6 or 7 albums a year.
Wow.
And I feel fairly confident that I'd be able to do that. I mean, I don't know that it would all be, cutting edge, the best, thing to ever hit the airwaves or what. But I mean, I would certainly try. And I love writing songs, and there's always songs in my head and ideas. I love being in the studio. I never really get burned out on that, and I would love to do it 24/7. And so it's just kind of who I am and my personality to just keep going 75 miles an hour, down the highway. It's just kind of what I do.
So you're kind of like Prince.
Who is this? I missed the name. What was the name?
Prince from Purple Rain?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Prince is ridiculous. And he's one of those guys, oh my gosh, he plays all instruments and produces and writes, and he has that flowing out of him, like a fountain. I have all this stuff in me, man. It's just I drive everyone around me to a degree somewhat crazy. My wife and my daughter, and they're always trying to have conversations with me about real life stuff, and I'm thinking about the studio, or I'm thinking about the song, or the band, or what have you. So it's just the way my brain works. I am 100% of the time, self-absorbed with this stuff. So it's just who I am.
Interesting. One thing I want to ask, it seems like Stryper can take a lot of responsibility or credit for the rise of Christian bands getting a lot of mainstream exposure. And I'm thinking bands like POD, Skillet, Jars of Clay, Switchfoot. What are your thoughts on that? And, do you actually, take credit for the rise of popularity of, the Christian bands or Christian acts in more of a mainstream platform?
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, and I think if we weren't, or if we hadn't been, there would have been somebody else. But it just so happened that we were around, informed, and in the right place at the right time. And by being so and doing so, we were able to kind of help start, the movement. Okay. And there was quite a movement, because after Stryper came on the scene, I mean, there was Rez and there was Petra.
Right.
But I don't really put us in the same category as Rez and Petra, because they were more, classic rock and blues oriented and straight ahead rock. Stryper came on the scene, and we were more, metal, and it had a harder edge, and we had a crazy look and all this other stuff going on. So we were just a different genre.
Okay.
So I think once we came on the scene and really took off, a lot of other bands followed suit. There was quite a movement in terms of quote unquote Christian metal, back in the 80s, and it's really cool looking back on it and to see that we were there on the front lines, and we kind of helped start it all, and I think God put us in the right place at the right time, man, and it was all planned out for a purpose, and you get what you get, and here we are. It's pretty cool.
So then would you attribute the Christian influence on older artists? Other than,
I mean, you go way back in time. It's funny because we're reading the lyrics to a Black Sabbath song,
okay.
After Forever. It came out in 71, I think. And, the lyrics are blatant, bold Christian lyrics about Christ and how he's the answer. And, you need him.
You mean Black Sabbath?
What's that?
Black Sabbath? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and my point is, I mean, that's going way back, So I think there's a lot of stuff out there over the years that is I don't want to put the Christian tag on it, but certainly has that deep faith rooted message to it.
Okay.
And that Black Sabbath is you wouldn't refer to them as a Christian band, certainly,
no.
but they had a lot of Christian overtones in their lyrics and in their message. It's kind of cool,
Interesting. Never would have thought of that. I was wondering if you can tell me, throughout the years, has there been any like closet Stryper fans, like some celebrity, or more famous people that have come up to you that admitted they're fans or that have caught Bibles at concert, or any that you're able or willing to share with us?
Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, I've met many over the years personally. I talked about in recent interviews John 5, who played with Manson, actually.
Sure.
And is now with Rob Zombie. He may not be with Zombie any longer. I think he might be doing his own thing. But he saw Stryper multiple times and has a Bible still. And then there's Twiggy, who plays with Manson.
Wow.
Bass player.
Right.
He saw the band, dressed up as a band member. And then there's just many other people over the years that we've met, that never said anything in interviews, and you would never know or never would have guessed. And then you talk to them in person, they tell you, yeah, I have a Stryper Bible. And it's just really kind of shocking and surprising, I think to a degree, it's kind of something a lot of these people want to keep hush-hush. They don't want to shout from the rooftops that they're Stryper fans or have a Stryper Bible,
Right, that's funny. Speaking of Stryper, are you guys going to be going on tour anytime soon?
Not anytime soon, but I would say certainly next year for sure.
Well, when you guys come through Cleveland, we'd love to meet up with you guys and maybe do an in-person interview.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, that would be great. And keep an eye and ear open for us. I'm sure we'll be back soon enough, man.
Oh, we definitely will. Before we go, are there any websites or Facebook, Twitter, any of the social media that fans can follow you guys on? And do you, keep up regularly? Do you personally answer them, or do you have like some computer mastermind who answers all that stuff for you? But where can people get in touch with you guys online at?
Well, I mean, I'm always tweeting at my Twitter and at my Facebook. I try to keep everyone informed the best I can. Usually 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Wow.
My Twitter, I think, is Michael Sweet Stryper.
Okay.
And my Facebook is the Michael Sweet.
Okay. And
those are probably the best ways for people to stay up on all things Michael Sweet and Sweet and Lynch. And then, of course, you have the Stryper Twitter, which is a Stryper, and then the Stryper Facebook, which is a Stryper as well.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. Well, Mr. Sweet, we appreciate you taking your time, and look forward to seeing you when you come into Cleveland. And, much success on the new album, Fallen, that's come out.
All right, brother. Hey, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. The pleasure was all ours, Mr. Sweet. You take care. God bless.
Okay, man. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was our interview with Michael Sweet from Stryper. What a great guy. That was so awesome to talk to him. I've been a longtime fan, and just exciting to hear all that stuff, especially about John 5 and Twiggy and all those guys. Anyway, we'll be right back. All right, that was it. Michael Sweet, Stryper. What a great guy. like Kevin said earlier, it's great. We finally got a chance to bring this to you, this episode. They're going to be hitting the road this summer, or I'm sorry, this fall coming up here. So, catch them in a town nearby if you can.
Yeah,
and
got that release coming out too.
Yeah, the new album, Fallen.
Right.
So, just everything's coinciding nicely for those guys. And, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate everything that you guys do as fans of the show and as followers of TRO, and we just want to continue to thank you for that, and want to continue to just encourage you to continue to follow everything that we're doing. Check out our website at therockoffice.com. Follow us on Facebook over at Facebook /rockoffice, and you can follow us even on Twitter at _rock_office. Continue to do that and share our stuff and retweet it, like it, favorite it, and all that stuff over there. And of course, hit that like button over on Facebook. It helps us out a great deal. And
what also helps us out is when you pick up one of these sweet T-shirts that Kevin's wearing in our online store at therockoffice.com.
Absolutely.
You got other merchandise other than T-shirts. We got stickers. So anything that you buy there goes right to us. It helps us continue to keep the Rock Office open, keep the lights on, as it were, and bring this to you. And also, forgot to mention, we are on Instagram, instagram.com/therockoffice.
That's right. That's been blowing up quite a bit. Huh?
Yeah, actually, we're getting really good numbers on Instagram. So thank you for all that support also.
Absolutely.
But I guess that's it.
I guess that pretty much says it. Thank you,
right.
Michael Sweet. We appreciate it, and his people.
Yes, thank you, Brian and Kevin. His publicists have been working very closely with. Those guys are great. So thank you for arranging everything. Thank you, Mr. Sweet. Hopefully you guys come to Cleveland. We can come and catch a show and hang out maybe a little bit. But at any rate, remember, support your local independent record store by buying the physical copy of music instead of the digital download. We'll see you next time on The Rock Office. Take care and God bless.